We've all been in troubled relationships, but after it ends, do you call it a failure if something positive comes from it? Maybe you learned something really important about yourself through it. Maybe you've created countless beautiful memories together. Or maybe you've made millions of dollars and created songs that defined a generation. It's no secret Liam and Noel Gallagher hate each other. Oasis has been defunct for more than a decade by now, leaving fans across the world wondering why they just can't set aside their differences to get back together. But looking back on the iconic 90s band, maybe it was a miracle in the first place that they lasted as long as they did. As Dr. Seuss said, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened."
But don't look back in anger.
I read something from the Bible, yeah. It was Adam and Eve, yeah. They had two sons, yeah. These two sons had a fight one day. One fucking stabbed the other and that. That's why we'll be the best band in the world, because I fucking hate that swat. No, it's not hate, it's love.
As someone from their management put it, Noel has a lot of buttons, Liam has a lot of fingers. In the mid-90s, Oasis had reached superstardom and were finally a worldwide draw. After a few years as one of the biggest bands in the UK, they had finally broken through in the US with the massive hit Wonderwall, and the album What's the Story Morning Glory was on its way to becoming one of the UK's best-selling albums of all time. Obviously, they had great songs, but part of the appeal to the band was their no-give-a-shit attitude, which was a throwback to older rock and roll bands in the past.
If you think you're a bit of a geezer that you ever threw the fucking bottle, let's have you up here and I'll slap you in front of the crowd.
I think any band worth their salt is not about just the music. If you haven't got that kind of behaviour and you've just got great tunes, then you're fucking pretty boring as far as I'm concerned. When both come together, you have greatness.
But that's exactly the perfect example of why Oasis was both great and why it didn't last. Liam brought this badass, no fucks given attitude, and Noel was about the music and the craft of writing songs. Obviously, those two styles would clash at times.
We were getting a reputation as these bad boys of rock and roll. That's all fucking great, but can we talk about the music first? Liam was always cooler than me, I think. He had a better walk, and clothes looked better on him, and he was taller, and he had better haircut, and he was funnier. Liam clearly would have liked to have had my talent as a songwriter. There was a period where he was the greatest singer in the world. They were the magic years, you know. The trick is keeping that shit going.
One of the earliest records of how Oasis developed this bad boy mythology stems from an early 1994 incident while on tour. Liam had incited a drunken brawl on board an overnight ferry to the Netherlands, just as the band were on the verge of the commercial breakthrough.
I don't know how we got on the ferry because we're pissed, but we get on this ferry.
As fate would have it, there was a load of West Ham fans on this overnight ferry. It's got a casino on it in the fucking nightclub.
Then as a fight broke out, and all I remember was it was a bit Benny Hill. That's how I want my rock and roll stars to act. Stick up for themselves, get in a bit of shenanigans.
What the incident did was put Oasis's name into the news cycle. All publicity is good publicity, right? But it also led to the public learnings about Noel and Liam's beef for the first time. In 1995, the bootleg single called Wibbling Rivalry was released. All it contained was an audio recording of an interview the brothers did with Enemy magazine a year earlier, just after the drunken brawl on the ferry.
If you're proud about getting thrown off ferries, then why don't you go and support West Ham? Get the fuck out of my band.
You're only gutted because he was in bed fucking...
No, I'm not at all. Listen. No, listen.
He's a fucking other fucking...
Shut up, you dick.
I'm in a band to make fucking music, but that thing will come along with it. It always does.
The Who hated each other and all.
Yeah, well, I hate this bastard.
Liam and Noel's perpetually squabbling relationship didn't just begin when they started a band together. Of course, it dated back to their earliest days as kids, growing up in Manchester. Noel was the second of three boys and always the quiet, introspective, shy type. Liam was the youngest and couldn't be more different from Noel. He was loud, brash, and attention-seeking, always the life of the party type.
Liam's like a dog, and I'm like a cat. Cats are very independent creatures. Dogs that just fucking play with me, please. Fucking need some company.
Part of the charm of the band and why Oasis got so huge was its authenticity. Liam never had to put on this fake bad boy persona to the public, and you could tell the brothers really hated each other and squabbled just as much off camera as they did with a microphone in front of their face. But as much as you love that rock star attitude from the singer of your favorite band, you could imagine how it would drive Noel crazy putting up with it off stage day in and day out. At that point, Noel had been dealing with it for more than a decade, dating back to when they shared a bedroom together as teenagers. One particular incident of note happened when Liam was 15, as he stumbled back into the bedroom after a night out drinking.
He bought this new sound system, and I'd been out drinking like too many sherries. The room was spinning, and I've got up out of the bed, and I couldn't find the light switch, and I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have to go, man. So I just whipped it out, pissed all over his fucking new sound system. And he's gone like that. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, I was just having a fucking piss, innit? He's like, my fucking new fucking stereo. I was like, yeah, it's all right, it'll fucking dry, won't it?
Oh, my God.
And that was it. I think that's where, I think he holds a grudge from that.
As Oasis kept getting more popular, and as they were winding down the Definitely Maybe era to record their second album, Liam had started walking off stage in the middle of gigs. He'd be angry at something or citing vocal pain, so Noel would have to step in to sing for the remainder of the show.
It never dawned on me to be a singer until he started walking off stage in the middle of gigs.
I can't be singing the songs for you because it's all fucked, you know what I mean?
And it's kind of like, oh, fucking hell, another 40 minutes left here, someone better do something. And then I thought, oh, hang on a minute, this is all right. That girl's staring at me, that's even better.
So as the band went into the studio to record What's the Story Morning Glory, the little taste of being a frontman gave Noel a newfound confidence to write for himself as a singer. It started yet another new rift between the brothers, because Liam would be left standing there with only a tambourine. And it only got worse when one of those new Noel songs, Don't Look Back in Anger, became one of their biggest hits.
Slip inside the eye of your mind.
Noel also decided to take over and do an acoustic version of another one of their biggest hits during their live shows.
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall, actually, you guys have been doing for a while. Noel's been doing it acoustically. Yeah. How did that come about?
He just decided he wanted to do acoustic song, which is cool. When I'm allowed to do the job, I think it's good, yeah, I'm happy. When I'm not allowed to do the job, I'm not happy.
He's a great fucking songwriter and always will be. But singing's my gig. If you're going to start singing the fucking songs as well as writing them, what am I doing, making the fucking tea?
For the subsequent years after Morning Glory, as Oasis established themselves in a new stratosphere, the fights and controversies between Noel and Liam never subsided. Countless times, Liam would skip a gig or Noel would take shots at him in the press, but the fans kept showing up and they gutted through it. It wasn't until 2009, after a full year of touring behind their Dig Out Your Soul album, where everything reached a boiling point. Oasis had cancelled a V-Festival show in Staffordshire, England, with Liam citing laryngitis as the reason he couldn't go on stage, after Noel went to the press, saying Liam was actually just hungover. At their next show in Paris, they were just about to go on stage when a huge argument broke out between them.
Liam kind of just well, fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck you, and all that again. And he kind of storms out of the dressing room, and he came back with a guitar and started wielding it like an axe, and I'm not fucking kidding. You know, he nearly took my face off with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm fucking out of here. I kind of got in the car and I sat there for 5 minutes and I just said, fuck it, that's it. I can't do it anymore.
With only 4 shows left on the world tour, Noel stormed off and issued a statement a few hours later, saying with sadness but also great relief, he'd officially left Oasis. From the outside, Oasis fans have a right to be annoyed at what seems like petty fights between 2 guys, keeping them from seeing more of their favorite band. But as Liam and Noel continue to say, life's too short to gut through a toxic relationship. Liam and Noel are oil and water. Each of them have these massive personalities at the opposite end of the spectrum. Together, you got one hell of a band, but one maybe not so sustainable. But just because they may never play a show together again, doesn't mean you can't appreciate the songs and the moments they gave us. Or put it another way, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
Being in the best band and the most important band of your generation shouldn't be a walk in the park, you know what I mean?
On stage, when he turns to me and I turn to him and we just both look at each other, everything just clicks and it just transcends music. And there's only me and him that will ever get this. And that's what it's about for us.
Yeah, I guess it's like a fight. We were kind of like fucking Mike Tyson band, you know what I mean? We just come in fucking blazing, knocking everyone out. We were never going to do 10 rounds, and it was never going to get to points. At the end of the day, I wait up and I go, right, do the good times outweigh the bad times? Fucking 100%.
heard you say